I recall the day started like any other. 10 Cents and Sunshine had been working a contract for salvaging old wrecked ships near Demdare Rocks for weeks. It was tough work that could take days to clear a single wreck. The contract was nearly up and needed to be completed. 10 Cents, Sunshine. I know you're doing your best with the salvage contract, but we're behind schedule. If we're not done by the end of the week, we won't get our payout, and you'll have to say goodbye to your spring bonus. We need this job done. I'm calling in backup for a few days to help with the salvage. 10 Cents and Sunshine glanced at each other suspiciously.
Captain Star, you've given everyone else a job today.
I know, 10 Cents, it's not ideal, but for the sake of this contract, you and Sunshine will be working with Zorran for the rest of its duration. The two switches were mad as could be, but I couldn't blame them.
Oh, sir, you can't put that crook in our salvage.
Yeah, he's going to sink us and take us a salvage, sir.
Oh, never mind that. He'll try and steal a salvage right out from under us.
Stop it, you two. I know you don't like this, and I don't like it either, but we have contracts to uphold. The Coastguard and Harbour Board are counting on us to finish this job by week's end.
Well, the Coastguard can...
That's enough, 10 Cents. Big City needs both our company and Captain Zero's to do the hard jobs to keep her running smoothly as much as we need the work. It's the same as with the Navy contracts. Big City is big enough for both our companies. Let's try to be the better fleet of tugboats, with more honest hard work and integrity, and maybe that'll rub off on the Zero fleet.
Well said, Captain.
Now off with you all. Get to work. Angry and upset, but determined to follow orders, Sunshine and 10 Cents picked up empty barges for the day's salvage loads and made their trip out to Demdare Rocks, first stopping to say a morning hello to Lily Lightship. But their moods dropped as they pulled up. Zorran had beaten them out to Lily and was moored to her side. The two were talking quietly. As the two switches approached, Zorran started looking nervous.
Oh, we can finish our talk later, Lily.
Don't leave me waiting.
10 Cents and Sunshine pulled up to either side of Zorran as he quickly tried to move away from the lightship.
And where do you think you're going, Zorran?
Zorran coughed nervously, but his expression quickly soured.
I saw you coming and I figured I ought to go and get a move on towards our job today. Hey, gentlemen.
Yeah, likely story, Zed Stack. He wasn't bothering you, was he, Lily?
Lily laughed, amused by the two switches.
He's alright, boys. Just giving me some company. Why don't you go over to the navigational charts for the rocks with Zorran? My CEO is getting impatient over those wrecks.
Alright, Lily. See you later.
See ya, Lily.
The three tugs quickly got to work, scouting out the old wrecks and pulling them clear of the rocks. Around midday, when the sun was hot and the tide was sinking fast, the three came upon a large wreck beached on a rock.
Oh, he's not moving until high tide.
Heh, nonsense. She may be too big for you dinky little switches, but it won't take me more than a moment.
Oh, the tide's too low. You'll drag yourself along the underwater rocks and smash in your hull. Anyways, she's going to sink. We'll have to bring her in on a dock. Oh, we'll need a crane.
Oh, please. You're making this more complicated than need be.
I trust what Sunshine says.
I used to work in Salvage upriver. I know what I'm talking about.
Pah, we're wasting time.
And we're in charge here, Zorran?
Yeah, you're just on contract for this job. Imagine if we fire you day one.
Send you home packing to Captain Zero.
Zorran glared at the switches, gritting his teeth.
You don't have the authority.
Captain Star trusts us. And if we tell him you've been a pain in our side and impossible to work with, he'll make sure Captain Zero knows exactly what to do with you.
You two are bluffing. You send me packing and Captain Zero will tie you stars up in enough litigation over the contract being breached that Captain Star won't know the meaning of the words debt-free.
Gonna be like that, eh? Get over here, you no.
10 Cents' famous temper started to boil over. Sunshine put himself between Zorran and 10 Cents to try and mediate the growing feud.
All right. Let's try not to make this week too miserable. We'll get this wreck tomorrow morning when the tide is high. We have enough work here to leave it for later.
Yeah, okay then, Sunshine.
Tencent and Zorran backed off from each other, and after taking a few minutes to calm down, the three tugs worked tirelessly until dusk.
Whoa, it's getting dark. We better get going. It's too unsafe to navigate out here without a clear sight line.
That I can agree with.
Yeah, this is the most progress we've had in days.
Of course it was. You two needed me to keep everything moving forward.
Tencent had started to throw a fuss, and Sunshine quickly put himself back between him and Zorran just in case the larger switcher decided to act out. But Tencent was distracted by Sunshine just long enough to rethink his position.
Oh, not this again. Me and Sunshine are perfectly... Well... I guess I can see why the captain sent you down to help with this contract. Thank you, Zorran.
Zorran was taken aback, looking confused for a moment, but he grinned cockily and laughed.
That's new coming from you. Just doing my job, gentlemen.
Well then, tomorrow can you grab some empty barges on the way over? Me and Tencent have to grab a crane and dry dock.
Can do. We ought to get on that big wreck first thing, eh fellas?
Sunshine and Tencent started back towards Big City, but slowed down and glanced back. Zorran had lagged behind, and once the two switchers were out of earshot, he glanced towards Lily and started off towards her. Back at the Star Dock, the two switchers were discussing their day with the larger tug settling down for the night.
He's pleasant enough to work with, but I still don't like it.
Zorran may be of a wicked sort, but he's a good tugboat at the end of the day.
He works well, but working with him is unpreferable.
Aye, nothing but temper with that tug.
Sound a lot like a deer switcher I know.
Hey! What do you mean by that?
Temper, Tencent.
Why, I oughta...
That's enough, you two.
Yeah, that's enough.
And if I was working on the Salvage contract, I wouldn't trust Zorran as far as you could tow him.
Yeah, I hate to agree, but that Zed-Stack is the sort of rebel who would butter you up just to leave you with the bill.
Oh, you know all about that, wouldn't you, Top Hat?
And just what do you mean by that?
Oh, you know just what I mean.
Hey, let's not fight, guys.
Top Hat can't take what he serves, as always.
Yeah, I only serve the truth.
That's so, Longneck? What about when...
All right, all of you calm down.
Yeah, alright, fine.
Well, if you go into a situation waiting for it to go bad, it will. Tencent, Sunshine, you never said that Zorran has ever done anything suspect with this contract.
Well,
what?
Zorran was acting weird around Lily. He was out there way too early talking to her, and he stayed behind to talk to her too.
He was he? I'm sure he's just being friendly.
We'll keep an eye on him. He's probably just trying to convince her to give over her fuel contract.
I should hope so. I'd hate to be Zorran if I find he's been bothering the poor dear, let alone doing anything unsavory.
We ought to not always assume the worst. Now let's get some rest before we agitate the captain.
Yeah. Night then, OJ. Night, everyone. As my tugs were all settling down for the night, Zorran tried to slip unnoticed into Zero Marine, looking rather tired and upset. He had hoped that no one had noticed his absence.
And just where were you? Zorran jumped as the other Z-Stacks looked back at him.
I expect this kind of lackadaisical lagging behind on a job from Zip or Zack, but not you. We have daily debriefing, Zorran, and I expect you of all tugs to remember to show.
Oh, sorry, Captain Zero, sir. I was just doing some cleanup of small bits and pieces from the salvage, you know. Trying to do a good job for the Coastguard, you see, sir.
Good man, Zorran. Show that snooping Coastguard that we can be thoughtful and charming just like those silly stars. Get them off our backs for a little while. Yes, good thinking indeed.
I was going to check in, sir, when I got back. But it seems everyone was already settling down. Gotta have rest to be the best, sir.
You're starting to sound like one of those star stacks. Don't let those goody-goody switches get to you. I need you at your best, you understand?
Yes, sir. Did I miss anything important from the debriefing, sir?
No, nothing exciting happened today aside from Zip clubbing Zug with a barge. Again.
Zip instantly started to laugh to himself, Zug glaring at him almost as instantly.
It was pretty funny.
No, it wasn't you.
Alright. I can already tell that's enough out of you two for tonight. I have nothing to report aside from the star switches being little gremlins as always. Do you mind if I go down to Lucky's and get a hand with some deep cleaning before clocking out for today, sir? The star switches accidentally smacked me with some bits of rusted out tramper, and I'm feeling quite uneasy about the whole thing.
Those star switchers better be careful, or I'll have them sent to dry dock for damaging you while on contract. Now go, and have Captain Lucky give you an inspection.
Yes, sir.
And with that sorted, good night to you all.
As the megaphone on the wall slumped down, Zorran started to back away.
Why the long face, Zorran? You look like you've seen a ghost again.
Those star switchers making fun of you? What's wrong? Can't handle them?
You watch it, Zach. I'm just feeling out of sorts. There's a lot of ships out there. It's humbling.
That tramper that we got all flipped around didn't get you out of sorts, so what gives now?
It's just different. Leave it alone. I ought to go catch Captain Lucky before he closes up shop for the day. Don't wait up.
And with that, Zorran slid out of his moor and into the night, leaving the other 4 Z-stacks alone.
He's been out of sorts for ages now, hasn't he?
He's been a big baby about whatever it is, but you're right, Zeb. He's never late or lollygags on jobs.
Seems as sour as ever to me.
Maybe we should talk to him.
No.
Absolutely not.
Hey, the shrimp might have a point. Zorran could just need someone to talk to. Took last year real hard. Getting beached, the quarantine, Krakatoa, the ghost thing. He might just be in a funk.
Sounds boring and mushy. I'd rather he just bulk it up.
Well, it's just a thought.
And it's a thoughtful one at that, Zip. Now you all heard the captain. We better bunker down for the night.
So true, Zebedee. Good night to you all.
The next morning, 10 Cents and Sunshine were up early when the mist was still clinging to the waters. They had to collect a crane and dry dock, and were making their way out to Demdare Rocks. 10 Cents stopped as he got a clear sightline on Lily through the mist. Sunshine bumped into him from behind.
Hey, watch it!
Sunshine, shh!
Sunshine rounded 10 Cents and looked out to where the larger switcher was looking.
Is there something off about Zorran?
Zorran, with a couple of barges in tow, was once again moored near Lily. He was visibly laughing brightly and flush, smiling along with Lily as they chatted. But that wasn't all.
Did Zorran shave?
I don't think I've ever seen Zorran clean shaven.
I've never seen him excited like that either.
The 2 switchers watched for a moment before Lily noticed them.
Hello, boys.
Zorran jumped and looked over at the switchers. His mood shifted, and he looked as sour as ever. The switchers approached, sang a good morning to Lily before diverting to the rocks. Zorran said goodbye curtly and followed along.
Hey, Zorran.
What?
Trying out a new look, are you?
Zorran sputtered for a moment, clearly in shock.
What's the matter to you?
10 Cents whipped around and started to go red.
No, I was just trying to be friendly.
Both of you quit it. I don't want to start this tricky bit with both of your tempers hot.
Sorry.
Fine. And yeah, I'm just trying something new, okay?
It'll take some getting used to, but it's not bad. I suppose.
The 3 tugs got into position to pull down the wreck and get it into a dry dock.
Alright, me and 10 friends can stabilize the ship, but we ought to pull it further this way so we can get a grip. You think you can pull it halfway down without pulling it off, Zorran?
Ha, it'll be nothing. Just watch my finesse and weak, boys.
10 Cents and Sunshine rolled their eyes, but moved into position to steady the old ship. With a tremendous struggle, Zorran started to pull the ship off the rock.
She's mighty stuck. I gotta give it more steam.
Oh, it's starting to come loose. Just keep it steady.
Zorran didn't heed Sunshine's warning and gave a strong yank. As if it was waiting for Zorran to slip up, the wreck lost all traction on its rocky perch and crashed down onto Zorran's bow, sending his entire front end down into the murky, rock-infested waters. With a sickening scream of twisting metal and a horrible crunch, the wreck toppled into the water as Zorran bobbed back up to the surface. Without a second to lose, 10 Cents bolted forwards and pinned Zorran into the side of one of the large rocks towering over the 3.
Sunshine, get the crane! We're gonna have to take him to dry dock!
Yes! Ah!
Sunshine quickly moved towards the crane and started to pull it over to secure Zorran. Zorran, visibly recovering from the shock of the bash, spit out a mouthful of water and started to wheeze.
What were you thinking, you stupid switchers? You were supposed to hold that ship steady, not let it crash down on me.
I don't want to hear it, Zero for brains. Sunshine told you to keep steady and you didn't. You got yourself into this mess, bucko.
Well, you see,
Zorran was beet red and fuming, but was at a loss for words on how to defend himself. The 2 switches quickly loaded Zorran onto the dry dock that had been meant for the wreck.
Oh, that's a shame. Now we'll never make our schedule.
Yeah, it's all because of him.
Oh, don't go hard on him, 10 Cents. He couldn't have known it was slipping that bad from his angle.
Yeah, I guess so. We better get him to Lucky's yard.
Of course! He's gonna need all that water out of his engine room, his hull patched up if Neptune forbid, and rest before he does any more work.
Yeah, and we can get back to cleaning up out here. With or without him.
That's the spirits. Now, let's both drag him.
Would you 2 stop calling me that?
The 2 switches snapped their attention to the tugboat in the dry dock, who was now averting his eyes from the switchers as his face went beet red.
We weren't calling you any names, were we, Zorran?
Yeah, this is serious. Even if you are a Z-stack, you took a nasty hit and nearly sunk.
Zorran visibly chewed on his emotions, his upper lip twitching and his face clearly holding something back. The 2 switches looked at each other quietly.
You better get him to Lucky's ASAP. I bet he's in shock.
Oh, I don't blame him.
I'll be scared to death if that were me.
The 2 switches carefully maneuvered Zorran back towards Big City. Once they reached the harbor mouth, they were suddenly flocked by OJ, who was rushing from his work to see what was wrong.
Oh, what happened here?
Zorran got in a tricky maneuver.
Oh, dearie me. It's a shame, but it happens to the best of us.
Zorran!
The Z-stack switcher darted towards the group, panic and fear on his face.
Zorran, are you alright? What happened?
Zorran remained quiet. His bottom lip was now trembling and he looked more upset by the second.
Here, 10 Cents, Sunshine, let me get him to Lucky's yacht.
And what? Abandon your contracts for the day? Dummy! Getting yelled at by the captain!
Zip nearly jumped out of his hull from Zorran's outburst.
Sorry, Zorran. I...
No, I'm sorry, Zip. First break you get on down to Zero Marine and tell Captain Zero I'll be down at Lucky's. I need emergency repairs. Then ask if you can be moved onto the Demdare Rocks job. You're stronger and newer than these 2, but you're still a switcher. A tug of my draft maneuvering out there is a disaster waiting to happen, even if I was the only one shallow enough for it. And disaster did happen. It was unavoidable.
Yes, Zorran. Right away, Zorran. I'm on break now, so don't worry, Zorran.
And just like his name, the little switcher darted off across the port, sounding off whistles to warn those around him to move out of the way. Zorran went back to looking sorry for himself as the 2 star switches limped him back to Lucky's yard.
Alright, Zorran. Captain Lucky will have you patched up in no time.
Yeah, turn that frown upside down.
Zorran just looked away from the pair. There was an angry honking on the dockside.
See? Captain Zero's already here to sort things out.
Catch you when you're better.
The 2 switches slowly crawled out of Lucky's yard.
What? Are you serious? Do you have any idea what those stars could have done?
As yelling erupted from behind them, they looked back at Zorran one last time. The tug was red in the face and starting to visibly break down into tears.
Captain, please.
Yeesh. Oh, we better go.
Yep.
The 2 switches left at top speed. Later that same evening, Lucky's yard was shimmering with dimmed running lights and the faint beats of damped-down steam engines. Laying low and quiet, the Z-Stacks had gathered in the faint light with a well-practiced hush about the group as they all kept their eyes on each other's afts and blind spots. This was a well-organized and top-secret discussion between the 5 tugboats, who knew best how it was to be done.
It's a shame you let those star switches pull a fast one on you, Zorran. Zero will have your hull for sure.
Yes, quite a shame, and we thought you would be A-okay to deal with those little puffballs.
Oh, hush it, you two. Captain already said Zorran's all fixed up and coming back to the moor tonight.
Thanks, Zebedee. I'm glad he also listened and sent you all tonight. We have to talk.
Yes, he made it really clear when we were settling down.
My wheelhouse is still ringing from the noise he made.
Oh, grow up. It's just a bit of yelling.
Regardless, I have something to discuss with you all that I didn't want those star stacks over there hearing. I know they wouldn't react too well.
Oh, are we finally gonna be able to stuff that goody-goody 10 senses engine with soaked rags and arrange for him to be overworked on an overly drafted barge that'll block up his pressure and cause his engine to spark, sending his whole ship aflame?
Well thought out, but no.
Well, he ought to deserve it after that stunt him in Sunshine pulled this morning.
We are not scuttling anyone. Will you bulkheads just listen to me?
All clear. Come on, guys. Let's stop messing around.
Right, no more messing around.
Good. Now then, Zero wanted me to debrief you all on my incident earlier. We determined those stars were working recklessly, and Zero told me to stay in their good graces for this contract. He wants you all to keep your eyes on them going forward. No more letting them have their way of the water, okay?
The Z-Stacks all agreed with what Zorran had said. However, a small voice rose above the arguments.
Zorran, that doesn't sound right. Didn't you say that you were too large for the maneuver? That's why the accident happened.
Zack, Zebedee, and Zug all snapped glares at Zip, hushing him. But Zorran let out a world-weary sigh.
You caught me, Zip. Fair and square. Oh, I guess I can't get one past you anymore, at least.
Zorran, what are you talking about?
See, I don't think Zero really thought this one through. Something about me talking to all of you because you needed to know. But you don't care. I know you don't.
Is this one of Zero's employee bonding things where he makes us do team building?
Well, in a sense of...
Well, then I don't want to hear it.
Fine, but that's on you.
Then good night.
Same here.
The group started to mutter and mumble as Zack and Zug started to build up steam. As the sounds of their engines started to rise, Zorran's face was visibly dropping.
Hey! Wait a minute, you two.
For what?
It can't be important coming from you, Zip.
Zip fumed and huffed for a moment, thinking very hard before he looked at Zorran.
Zorran, do you need to talk to us? Is it about you having been so upset lately? Is that why the captain sent us here tonight? Do you want us to stay and listen?
Oh, cut the slack, Zip. Of course Zorran doesn't want to talk about his feelings.
Zorran looked away from the group, visibly uncomfortable and upset.
Zorran, you look miserable. We're here for you if you need to talk. Ignore Zach. You know how he is.
I, don't really know how to say it.
Then let's talk it out.
You had to tell the captain something. Let's start there.
I can't explain it, but I think I've been upset for a while. Last year was a disaster, and it gave me some perspective on myself.
Don't tell me you're going soft in the wheelhouse, Zorran.
Hush, Zach.
I'm still the Zorran you all know and tolerate. At least I hope so.
We don't tolerate you, Zorran.
Yep.
I mean, you all have been taking care of me since I was christened, and I care for all of you too.
Oh, Zip.
And Zorran's always taking care of us for anything. Zebedee, remember when Johnny Cuba was arrested?
I'd rather not.
You were having those dreams, and Zorran talked you down from them every time. And Zug, after that tramper got stuck last year, Zorran ended up admitting to being short-sighted and taking the fall with the captain.
Oh yeah, I guess he did.
And Zach.
What? Don't bring me into this.
Zach, none of us have ever left you floundering when your engine acts up, even at your most stubborn. But Zorran has always had your back with the captain, doesn't he? You've always had the thing patched up.
Yeah, I guess he does.
And Zorran, you are always looking out for me whenever I do something silly and get beached or stuck or lose control of a barge because I'm out of my draft and not thinking. You can get angry, but you are always trying to make sure that I learn and am safe. Zorran, you've never once made me feel belittled or stupid as a Tug. Even at your nastiest, you're looking out for me. For all of us.
Zip, that...
So what do you need from us, Zorran? You say the word and we'll do anything. Right, guys?
The shrimp is right. We're your men, Zorran.
Exactly. You tell us what's wrong and we'll sort it out.
The air was full of tension as Zack glanced around the group, clearly mulling on something. The scowl started to leave the Tug's face.
Yeah, Zorran. We're gonna talk this out. You just tell us what we gotta do for you.
Thank you. Thank you all.
I know this heart-to-heart stuff isn't our most strong suit, but it seems Zip has been whipping us into shape in that department, it seems. Thank you for that, Zip. I think you all deserve to know the truth, to know me. But I've no clue what to say.
Zip, smiling softly at Zorran, pressed his hull against his own.
Then we'll talk it out.
With the air growing hushed around Lucky's yard, the Zed stacks started working through their leader's unsure situation. At the Star Dock, there was a solemn feeling in the air all around the Tugs.
10 cents, sunshine.
The Tugs around jumped.
I know it's late, but I just got a report back about the incident earlier today on the Dem Dare Salvage contract.
We're real sorry, Captain Star.
Oh, we shouldn't have.
That's enough. I got the full report from Captain Zero.
Oh boy.
We're boned.
Zorran made it perfectly clear that the incident was unavoidable due to the danger of the situation. I do not appreciate the recklessness of you three's idea of salvage work, but I can see why the pressure of the contract's end would have had you doing such rush, sloppy work. I've talked with the Coastguard, and you boys have an extension on the contract until it's done. Zip will be helping you two out from now on with this contract. In exchange for the extension, the Coastguard will be cutting the payout day by day until it's done. So it will be in your best interest to finish it before your bonus runs out, and I start docking your pay. Capiche?
Hi,
Yes, Captain Star, sir. Captain Star? If you don't mind me asking, Do you know how Zorn's doing?
Yes, I was just about to get to that, 10 cents. Zorran only received light superficial damage and flooding, but it could have been a lot worse if you two hadn't acted so quickly. When the contract is up, 10 cents will be going down to Lucky's and getting those nasty scrapes down your side fixed courtesy of Captain Zero. So get the good full paint package, of course. You too, Sunshine.
Wow! Thanks!
Thank you, sir.
Just don't let it slip that you'll be getting the full service until after. Got it?
Why not?
It's not important. Now, good night.
Good night.
Night, Captain.
See you in the morning.
The Star Tugs all sent off a good night as the office lights dimmed. You two are lucky Zorran saved your hulls.
I thought we'd be sent upriver for scrap for sure.
Oh, don't joke about that.
Sorry, Sunshine. My nerves are just shot.
Hey, look. What's that?
The clumsy tug was looking out at the dimly lit harbor, and in the distance, a formation of ships laying low in the water were approaching.
Is that the Z-Stacks?
I was wondering why I hadn't seen them all night.
Oh, yes, I see it clearly. Not a single soul at Zero Dock.
Looks like Zorran's with them. Hey, Zorran!
Hush now, 10 cents. He's probably tired. Yes, they must have gone and collected their leader to bring him back.
Oh, sorry. That makes sense.
Hi. We'll see him in the next few days and say hello.
Yeah, and a thank you for sure.
The next morning, 10 cents and Sunshine were ready to go out bright and early. After the morning meeting, they moved off for the day's work. Out on the waters, they ran into Zip getting a lecture from Zorran.
Now don't be late, and don't get yourself sunk like me. You listen to those switches, especially Sunshine.
Yes, so, sir. I mean, oh no,
Oh, quit groveling. You'll get it soon enough.
I will.
Well, I don't mean to intrude, gentlemen, but...
Hey, that's not...
Zip, let me handle it.
Zip backed down with a huff. 10 cents and Sunshine glanced at each other as Zorran turned around to face them. Shock came over the pair of switchers. Zorran's air had changed massively overnight. Now sporting a new cap, the tugboat was also wearing an unusually sincere smile.
Oh, Zorran, still changing up your look.
Zorran moved back, and she gave the two a tight glare, and her upper lip twitched. But her expression relaxed, and she smiled.
I am. Thank you, 10 cents, for noticing. Thank you both for saving my hull out there yesterday. I hope I got Captain Star off your backs.
You saved us from certain firing.
And some of our bonus.
That's great, gentlemen. Now, I better apologize for yesterday's outburst when you two were helping me. I've been, having some personal upset, you see.
Oh, yeah, we can see that.
10 cents, be nice.
Alright, calm down, you two. I think I'm gonna feel less sour going forward. I think hearing you two blabber about me like I wasn't there finally helped me get my barges in a line. So, thanks for that. But that doesn't mean I suddenly like you and I owe you anything. Got it?
Oh, no, trust me. We don't want anything from you,
I think for now, Zorran's still fine. Zo, if you'd like. Curse is to actually changing my name. I'd wind up a reef for sure.
Well, if you change your mind and want to be called something else, you can always go join Boomer River and go be a houseboat.
What? And let you stars run amok in Big City? She'd not even make it a day without you lot jamming the quayside or burning down half the place.
Oh, we're not so bad. And what about the other Z-Stacks? Would they be joining you upriver?
No offense, Zip, but they'd all be sunk in a day.
We would.
Exactly. Now you lot better be off to work on that salvage job. And Zip?
Yes, ma'am?
No games, okay? Don't be silly like me, you hear?
I'll do my best.
Alright, off with you lot.
See you around, Zo.
Oh, and if you wouldn't mind Could you two let me talk to the others on my own terms?
Oh, absolutely.
That is completely fine by me. Be you around, Zorran?
Hey! Cut that out!
Save it for Sally, sunshine.
I was just trying to be supportive.
I'd rather you not be. Now be off with you before the captain see you lot loitering around.
The three switchers steamed off to work with whistles and goodbyes, starting a friendly argument about whether Sunshine had crossed the line or not. A now smiling and happy Zorran watched them off. With a loud blast from her hooter, she went off to start her peaceful day, ready to be the first of many that would be just like any other, for the happier and more comfortable Tug.